Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Thursday, December 5th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. The manhunt continues this morning for the gunman who shot and killed a healthcare company CEO outside a hotel in New York City. The description of the assassin and how he got away. Also, cryptocurrency on a record-setting roll, the benchmark that Bitcoin hit on Wednesday as its value skyrockets.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. These are today's Unbiased Updates.
In Midtown Manhattan early this morning, 50-year-old Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was shot and killed in what appears, at this early stage of our investigation, to be a brazen, targeted attack. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. The victim was in New York City to speak at an investor conference. It appears the suspect was lying in wait for several minutes. And as the victim was walking to the conference hotel, the suspect approached from behind and fired several rounds.
New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch describing the fatal shooting of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson as he walked into a Hilton hotel in New York City at around 6:40 a.m. yesterday. This morning, the manhunt for the shooter continues as more details about the case are released. Family and friends are mourning one of the top executives of the world's largest health insurer. The deadly shooting was captured on surveillance video, with police releasing these images from the scene. Authorities saying the masked gunman had arrived at the hotel around 5 minutes before the shooting. Then, when he saw Thompson, he walked up behind the CEO and shot him in the back at point-blank range. At a press conference Wednesday, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney describes what happened next.
The shooter then walks toward the victim and continues to shoot. It appears that the gun malfunctions as he clears the jam and begins to fire again. The shooter then flees on foot northbound into an alleyway between 54th Street and 55th Street.
Later in the day, police released additional images of the shooter. They say once he took off from outside the hotel, he got on an electric bike and was last seen riding into Central Park in Manhattan. Police say they recovered a cell phone in the alleyway and are working to see if it is linked to the shooting. Investigators are speaking to Brian Thompson's co-workers and family members to see if he received any specific threats leading up to the shooting. Thompson joined UnitedHealthcare in 2004 and was named CEO in 2021. UnitedHealthcare's parent company, UnitedHealth Group, issued a statement calling Brian a, quote, highly respected colleague and friend. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. Thompson's wife, Paulette, also releasing a statement saying, quote, we are shattered to hear about the senseless killing of our beloved Brian. Brian was an incredibly loving, generous, talented man who truly lived life to the fullest and touched so many lives. Most importantly, Brian was an incredibly loving father to our two sons and will be greatly missed. We appreciate your well wishes and request complete privacy as our family moves through this difficult time. As the investigation continues, police are urging anyone with information to give them a call. Across the country in California, 2 kindergartners are in extremely critical condition after a shooting at a religious K-8 school yesterday. The Butte County, California Sheriff said the shooting happened around 1 p.m. at Feather River Adventist School near Palermo, north of Sacramento. It happened just after the gunman, who had been dropped off by an Uber, met with the principal about enrolling a student. Investigators are looking into whether that meeting was just a ruse for the man to get on campus. When deputies got to the scene, they found the shooter dead near the school playground from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say the gunman had no prior connection to the school or the 5-year-old and 6-year-old boys that he shot. Investigators believe he might have targeted the Seventh-day Adventist school because of its church affiliation. The sheriff speaking at a press briefing last night.
Whether or not this is a hate crime or whether or not it's part of some larger scheme, at this point, I don't have enough information to provide an answer to that.
Authorities believe they have figured out who the shooter is, but they're not releasing information about his identity as of yet. Police in Memphis, Tennessee regularly violate black people's rights. That's according to the Department of Justice. The DOJ released its findings Wednesday from an investigation into the police department following the death of Tyree Nichols after a traffic stop in 2023. The civil rights investigation started 6 months after Nichols was kicked, punched, and hit with a police baton as 5 officers tried to arrest him, ultimately leading to his death. The federal investigation concluded Memphis police used excessive force, conducted illegal stops, searches, and arrests, as well as unlawfully discriminated against black people. The DOJ said the city of Memphis and the MPD cooperated fully with its investigation. However, the city of Memphis said in a letter Wednesday it would reject a preliminary agreement on a legally binding consent decree for federal oversight of its police department. In the letter, the city attorney said, quote, the investigation and unreleased findings only took 17 months to complete, compared to an average of 2 to 3 years in almost every other instance, implying a rush to judgment. And that city officials first need the chance to review, analyze, and challenge the allegations. Now to the ongoing war in the Middle East. At least 21 people are dead after an Israeli strike on a tent camp housing displaced Palestinians in Gaza Wednesday. That's according to the director of a hospital in the nearby city, Khan Yunis. The Israeli military claimed it struck senior Hamas militants involved in terrorist activities in the Muwasi area and took precautions to minimize harm to civilians. A spokesman for Gaza's Civil Defense Agency says 5 children were killed in the strike, which they claim was one of several deadly strikes across the Gaza Strip on Wednesday. Now to the world of cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin prices are booming this morning. The price of a single Bitcoin surging Wednesday to more than $100,000, the first time the 16-year-old cryptocurrency hit 6 figures. Bitcoin's milestone came just hours after President-elect Donald Trump announced Paul Atkins as his pick to be the next chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Atkins was an SEC commissioner during George W. Bush's presidency and is known to be a strong supporter of cryptocurrencies. Current SEC Chair Gary Gensler has said he will step down from the role on January 20th, the day of Donald Trump's inauguration. Finally this morning, one restaurant brand is looking to make a comeback as it hopes to attract customers in search of a taste of nostalgia, if you will. The Mexican restaurant chain Chi-Chi's is planning to once again open its doors starting next year. Michael McDermott, the son of the chain's co-founder, striking a deal with Hormel Foods, which owns the Chi-Chi's trademark. Chi-Chi's closed its last restaurant in 2004 following a hepatitis A outbreak that was linked to 4 deaths and sickened more than 600 people. McDermott says there is an opportunity to bring back the brand in a way that resonates with today's consumers, but specifics on the menu items and locations have not yet been released. I always liked the free chips and salsa, and you could get hot or mild. Those are your unbiased updates for this Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.